Back with another edition of the Inside Edge with Frankie Corrado. Let's chat about the Eastern Conference Final now. Artemi Panarin, he's the highest paid player in this series, and for good reason. He has a chance to go off on any given night. So he's plus 390 to record a point in every game, plus 610 to have 3 or more shots in every game, and plus 1260 to record a hat trick in this series. Frankie, is Panarin a player that you're riding with in this series?
Maybe at plus 1260 to record a hat trick, Glenn. He had 3 hat tricks throughout the course of the regular season. He hasn't had one yet in the playoffs, but given all the other options that you've given me, there's probably going to be a game where Artemi Panarin goes up against the Florida Panthers, doesn't get a point, but he's a player who can get hot. And when he gets hot, maybe he's going to get a hat trick. There seems like there's a potential for the New York Rangers to have a game or two where there's going to be an offensive outburst. Now, ultimately, we'll see where that leaves them when it comes to the results of the series. But I like Artemi Panarin to record a hat trick, given that the value is there on the line.
Yeah, and the power play for the Rangers has just been outstanding through a couple of rounds as well. Meanwhile, it's a battle of superstar goalies in this one. Igor Shesterkin versus Sergei Bobrovsky. Neither have a shutout in these playoffs. Bobrovsky plus 154 to get one. Shesterkin plus 205. Will either goalie record a shutout in this series?
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance that someone does. You know, you look at it from Florida's lens, as much as I just talked about maybe Panarin can get a hat trick in this series, there's probably going to be games where the offense dries up for the New York Rangers, and Florida is such a well-rounded defensive team. So, of course, there's the chance that Bobrovsky gets hot and catches a shutout. The same goes the other way for Shesterkin. His game has been really good leading up into the playoffs now. Like, with both those goaltenders and what they're capable of doing, there's a very good chance that there could be at least one shutout in that series.
All right, finally, prediction time. This is a coin flip for me, Frankie, but who do you think wins this series? Florida's minus 144 to advance the Cup final for a second straight year, and New York is plus 120. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I agree with you, Glenn. It feels like this is a coin flip. The one thing I'll say on that is I think it's the Florida Panthers. And the New York Rangers, they had a relatively easy first-round matchup against the Washington Capitals. Their defense and the way they played defensively wasn't necessarily challenged in that series, and it wasn't challenged against the Carolina Hurricanes. As much as the Hurricanes tried to add offense around that group, it never felt like it was challenging defensively for the Rangers. This is going to be different. Florida can find ways to find their offense. Florida can play different styles of game. They can run you out of the building. They can play low-scoring games. They can play high-scoring games. Their goaltender can find a way to steal a game. Like, there's a lot of versatility with the way the Panthers can win games. And for the New York Rangers, we haven't really seen them tested defensively yet. So for those reasons, I like the Florida Panthers to win this series.
It should be a great series. This has been the Inside Edge with Frankie Corrado.